AITAH for rejecting a single mom based on her lifestyle and friends? Here's a version of your story that stretches it into a more detailed narrative, keeping it engaging. I'm a 43-year-old man from Canada, and to say life hasn't been easy for me in recent years would be an understatement. 3 years ago, my wife ended our marriage and walked out on me and the kids. She had met someone else, a married man, of all people. Not only did she leave, but she filed for divorce and moved to the USA to be with her new lover. It's a tough pill to swallow, knowing that someone you spent so many years with could walk away so easily. At first, things were incredibly hard. The kids, my son, who's 14, and my daughter, who's 12, were devastated, and I didn't know how to handle the situation. But slowly, we figured out a routine. It took a lot of patience, and yes, there were many sleepless nights, but we made it work. The kids were seeing a therapist regularly, and I was getting some help too. I didn't date at all, feeling like I was still trying to pick up the pieces from the wreckage of my marriage. To cope with the stress, I started working out. It wasn't to look good or impress anyone. It was simply a way to release the tension that had been building up inside me. I joined a running club called Boring Running Dads, which I'll admit did make me chuckle a bit. It was a group of guys in similar situations, dads trying to take care of themselves and make it through life in one piece. In time, I began to feel like I was in a better mental space, and my kids seemed to be adjusting as well. One day, my best friend's wife, let's call her Laura, messaged me out of the blue. She said she thought she found the perfect match for me. She's perfect. She's cute, outgoing, and a single mom. What are you doing this Friday night? I was a little taken aback because, honestly, I hadn't thought about dating in a long time, but I figured, why not? It was a chance to step out of my comfort zone. I was driving my daughter to her practice and had to make sure my son's friend came over for their video game session that night. When I told Laura I was busy, she said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it. You go have fun on the date." I didn't think much of it and told my kids, "Hey, I'm going to have dinner with a friend, and Laura is going to help out for the night." When she showed up, I was surprised. The woman, let's call her Kate, was 37, and she was stunningly pretty. She was everything Laura had said: outgoing, energetic, and full of life. Kate had 3 kids from 2 different dads, but she assured me they all got along great, which I thought was pretty admirable. Her kids were around my own, so we had a bit in common there. But as the night went on, things started to feel a little off. Kate kept talking about how fun and spontaneous she was. She went clubbing with her friend, another single mom, and they were constantly out, hitting the nightlife scene. I don't know, I guess I'm just not into that anymore. I'm not really in the clubbing phase at 43, but I didn't judge her for it. Maybe I'm just boring. Then came the part that really threw me for a loop. She casually started talking about a night she'd gotten drunk and did a line of coke because her friend encouraged her to. I didn't know how to respond. Was this normal? Was she trying to impress me with her wild side? I wasn't sure. I just nodded along, trying to be polite. Then she mentioned her sister. She said her sister was her best friend and always had the best advice. I asked if her sister had kids. She laughed and said, "No, she doesn't fit that lifestyle." When I asked what her sister did, she casually dropped the bombshell. "Oh, she works as a stripper and does OnlyFans on the side." I didn't know how to react. I'm all for people making their own choices, but this was a lot to process all at once. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it when the night took an unexpected turn. After dinner, Kate asked me to come back to her place. "The kids are with their dads," she said, smiling. "We could hang out." I didn't know what to say. I wasn't feeling the connection, and I couldn't lie to myself. I didn't want to go back to her place. I wasn't ready for whatever this was. I told her I couldn't because I had to get back to my kids. It felt like a decent excuse, but honestly, I was relieved to have a reason to end the night. When I got home, I texted Laura. I thanked her for setting me up with Kate, but I told her I didn't feel a spark. I said, "I think we want different things in life, but I wish her all the best." I figured that would be the end of it. But then the drama began. Laura was upset. She said, "You really didn't give her a chance." You can't just judge her based on her friends and her sister. I tried explaining that I just didn't see a future with her, but she wasn't hearing it. She even said, "I can see why your wife left you. You're just so boring and closed off." I was stunned. I didn't know how to respond. Laura wasn't the first person to say something like that, but hearing it from her stung. I felt like I had just been insulted by a close friend, and it didn't sit well with me. My friend, Kate's date, also took her side. He said I should have at least given her a second chance. He called me a backward thinker and said I'd embarrassed myself. My stomach sank. This wasn't what I expected after the date. I spent the next couple of days reflecting on the whole thing. I really had tried to be open-minded, but I couldn't shake the feeling that Kate and I were on completely different paths. Her lifestyle, her choices, they just weren't something I could relate to. I know it might have seemed like I was being judgmental, but I felt like I had to listen to my gut. I decided to text Kate one last time, and this time I was clear. I thanked her for the evening, but told her we were on different wavelengths. "Good luck," I said, before blocking her number. The fallout wasn't as clean as I hoped. Laura and my best friend were still upset with me. I felt like I had let them down, but in the end, I had to be honest with myself. Maybe I'm not as open-minded as some people think I should be, but I've been through enough to know what I want in my life, and it's not about wild nights out or embracing a lifestyle I don't understand. So yeah, maybe I was an asshole in their eyes, but I think I was just being true to myself. And right now, that feels like the most important thing of all.